I just want to call out and congratulate the Braves. They are the first team to clinch a postseason spot. So we'll do that here and there. As we're putting teams to bed, we also got to raise up the ones that you're going to see in the playoffs. Just a dominant season that continues to ride for them. And I feel like this team, Kratz, has actually taken another step. When you look, and there's the nice, pretty graphic, the first of 12 postseason teams. They are officially on their way to October. You got Michael Harris, Matt Olson, Spencer Strider, and Acuna on there, and then every other Brave that signed up for life is jealous that they're not on that picture. But I feel like they've taken another step, Kratz, because there's so many dudes locked up long term, even if one or two of them ends up having injuries or underperforms a little, which really hasn't happened yet, that they've got a machine cranking right now. It's like, all right, cool. What are we going to do this offseason? All right, let's bring in Sean Murphy. Let's sign him up long term. He'll be one of the best catchers in the league. We'll have one of the best backup catchers, so we don't exhaust him down the stretch, so he can be a stud and hit a big home run for us in the playoffs. Even on the pitching side, because they had been mostly position player side. They're like, you know what? Playoffs last year, I was there for all of that. Strider, and I spoke to Anthopoulos. He was like, this is the real deal. We've been mostly doing this with position players. This is the pitcher you do this with, because this is a pitcher that could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The fastball alone, and if down the line, he's got to develop more with the repertoire. Seems like he can. He just doesn't have to do it right now. There's not much that has gone wrong for them, frankly, besides some injuries that haven't even mattered. And some of those injuries are like, oh, cool, Max Fried, we missed you for a while. That's fine. When you're back, you're great. Kyle Wright, you haven't pitched the whole season, but you might come back later and be a stud for us, maybe even as like a multi-inning dude out of the bullpen. But the problem is we got to figure out a roster spot, like there's so much going on. There's so much right. Even some of the names that people don't know that step up right away, like Vines, and make their debut, and they're really good in Colorado. Do you have a problem with anything the Braves are doing right now? Like, can we nitpick anything that we go, that could be an issue in the playoffs?
Nope. Other than the fact that they lost last year, and you sit there and you go, well, the World Series runs through Houston in the American League. The Braves had 1 year off and they lost last year. My question is, will that like hangover thought creep into their mind? I don't think so, but I think it's something that is to be watched. But they're perfect. They are really just a team that is built for not just winning this year. It's not like, here's our window. We only have a small window and we can't all these guys are athletic. They're not like some teams. They're like fighting like, all right, we got 2 or 3 guys that need some DH looks here. Everybody's fighting to be on the field. Like nobody's fighting for the DH spot. And then they go and, like you said, go and get Sean Murphy. And then you have Travis d'Arnaud. I think the only issue that I see is they clinched a playoff spot last night. I'm assuming they didn't drink any champagne, which I think is tragic. Every time you make it to the playoffs, you should drink champagne, but it was September 10th. They clinched September 10th. But they're going to do that
for the division, right?
I get it. I get it. It's a different scenario, but just ask the 2018 Cubs what happened when they clinched a playoff spot and they did not celebrate. I understand it's completely different.
This is different because they're a billion games ahead. But
they are so many games ahead. But you clinch. You work so hard. Todd can attest to this. You work so hard in the offseason, in your career, during the season. You grind through injuries. You grind through everything to make it to the playoffs. And to me, you celebrate every single time. Act like you're going to be there forever. Celebrate like it's the only one you ever get.
I like that. Yeah. Sure. And also, I mean, no one's ever going to, hate on you for drinking twice. There's some of that Cristal that they should be hooking you up with.